everyone! Thanks for joining me today for this episode of Infinite Hope, episode 4. Thanks for being here. We all know this world is going crazy and all the news coverage is always negative. So I want to do something different. I want to bring you hopeful, inspiring, good news. So that's what this video is. And here we go. And before we do though, don't forget to press that like and subscribe button. Thanks guys. Here we go. Okay, so first we have this article here from today.com. This is kind of the local news for me. I live in Mexico, and as you all know, we were hit by Hurricane Delta, and I lost power. I made a video about it for 3 days. So this news is close to my heart, like right here, and it reads, "Man shelters 300 dogs from Hurricane Delta. What's beautiful is to see them happy." Well, that's just awesome. Like, yay for this guy. The article reads, as the dangerous Hurricane Delta closed in on Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, Ricardo Pimentel opened his home to about 300 dogs. There were plenty of other critters too. Dozens of cats were harbored in his son's room. His daughter's room served as a refuge for chicks, bunnies, and even a hedgehog. A patio became a haven for a flock of sheep. Not surprisingly, the house smelled terrible, he says, but it was worth it. All survived the storm. Yay! It doesn't matter if the house is dirty, it can be cleaned, he says. The things they broke can be fixed or bought again. But what's beautiful is to see them happy, healthy and safe, without wounds, and with the possibility of being adopted. So yeah, this guy is pretty freaking awesome. Like, he's a really good human being, and he saves animals. That's what he does. He loves animals, and he's a great guy, and good for him. Thumbs up. That's awesome. Good for this dude. Saving all those lovely, lovely animals, because our lives would be pretty empty without animals. Yeah, I love this guy. Good for you. Okay, next here we have another story about a gentleman in Russia rescuing a couple of beluga whales. 3 stranded beluga whales saved in remote Russian Far East after a dramatic solo rescue operation by hero local inspector. And they have a little video here of the belugas being beached. Really sad. Look at the little baby. Oh, don't worry guys, it ends well. It ends well. An inspector from Russian Emergency Ministry has been hailed as a hero after he saved a family of 3 beluga whales, 2 adults and a young calf, left stranded on a far eastern beach on Thursday when the tide went out. Alexei Paramanov said when he arrived at the scene, he saw the animals about 1.5 kilometers from the coast. One of the adults was in a dangerous position lying on its side, so he dug a hole under the beluga and turned it over to the correct position while also trying to protect the family from predators. In order to prevent dehydration, he watered their skin and eyes, and with nighttime temperatures below freezing, Paramanov also swaddled the baby to keep it warm. Oh, what a sweet guy. I can't believe he swaddled the baby all night. That is so cute. The dramatic incident occurred in the Khabarovsk region, a vast territory which borders China by land and is close to Japan by sea, over 6,000 kilometers east of Moscow. A local resident told the emergency ministry at about 4:30 local time that the animals were stuck at the mouth of the Uda River, which flows into the Sea of Okhotsk near the village of Beluga. And they had this posted on our Twitter site, and that's how I found out about it. And basically, long story short, he remained with the stricken creatures long after it got dark, mindful of the threat from the other animals and poachers. At about midnight, when the high tide arrived, the whales safely returned to the sea on their own. And also, apparently last year, Paramanov also rescued 3 belugas. Back then, 3 adults found themselves stranded in shallow water and came under attack from crows and gulls before the hero inspector came to their rescue. So this dude is an absolute hero. He's the whale whisperer. He's been rescuing these whales a couple times. That is really cool, and I'm really happy that he was able to do that. What a sweet guy. Okay, so our final story for the day is a scientist creates camera that films in 3D at 100 billion frames per second, fast enough to capture light traveling. That's pretty darn fast. A scientist has created a new ultra high speed camera that films in 3D and can capture light waves as they move. The impressive machinery may help us unravel some of physics' greatest mysteries. Li Hong Wang's invention is an improvement on his original camera design, which could capture 70 trillion frames per second in 2D. The Caltech scientist announced his original compressed ultra-fast photography CUP camera back in January, which can record at an astonishing rate but could only produce flat images. Since then, by diligently working through the COVID-19 lockdowns, Wang kept busy and has now produced a camera which can capture light as it travels in 3 dimensions at a rate of 100 billion frames per second. For context, most high-end smartphone cameras can only shoot at 60 frames per second. That is insanely fast. In other words, the camera, dubbed the single-shot stereo polarimetric compressed ultra-fast photography, or the SPCUP for short, can take 10 billion pictures in less than the blink of an eye. Wang added the 3D element to the camera by mimicking how humans see the world around us, adding depth perception to images in much the same way our 2 eyes do for us. The camera is stereo now, he says. We have 1 lens, but it functions as 2 halves that provides 2 views with an offset. 2 channels mimic our eyes. The computer that runs the SPCUP camera then processes the 2 visual signals into a 3-dimensional movie, much the same way our brains process visual stimuli from the world around us. The camera is so quick, it can also capture the polarization of light waves, which is the direction that individual waves of light radiation vibrate as they travel. Wow, that's fascinating. Wang believes the technology has a multitude of scientific applications, but is most excited by the prospect that it could help unravel the mystery surrounding sonoluminescence, the phenomena in which bubbles generated by sound waves in liquids release a light as they collapse. Some people consider this one of the greatest mysteries in physics, he says. The process that makes this happen is very mysterious because it all happens so fast, and we're wondering if our camera can help us figure it out. That's awesome. I mean, that's so cool that this guy took the time in his COVID-19 lockdown and did something so amazing, and took his time and did something marvelous with that time that he was given and improved on his already existing work. Kudos to this dude. Awesome. And that's it for today's episode of Infinite Hope. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll be back next week with more hopeful stories, and hopefully you guys will have tagged me in some on Twitter, Nina7Infinity, and help me out find some cool stories so that I can share with everybody, and I will give you a shout out if your story gets chosen. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day. Bye!